Hey, all my card makers. We are here today to make another birthday card. I need lots of birthday cards right now. So we are going to start off with this Brass and Bliss, pretty much a project card. We are going to be using the scalloped with half holes nesting die. Love Brass and Bliss's nesting dies, guys. They are so good. And then we are going to be using the Hippo with its coordinating dies that you've seen right there, along with this confetti stencil and the party time paper pad. I love this paper pad, so good. I am in 2025 really going to try and incorporate a few more things of patterned paper. Another thing that I thought that I was going to put in here was this pink paper from Brazil. And I think that's about it. We are going to be using a balloon die. So my main thing here is I want to show you guys how to use dies for mask. So I will be using some masking tape, but I had this idea of my little hippo guy holding a balloon. But I didn't really want it to be like a die balloon. I wanted it to mask and show you how you can kind of make your own balloon. You don't necessarily need a balloon die. You could just draw this. I mean, balloons are pretty easy to draw out. But again, it is the easiest way probably to get that. And just using our dies and our stamps in different ways. We invest in all of these amazing products, and I just want to be able to use them more and in different fun ways, right? All right, so you've seen me cut down all my cardstock. Again, guys, so sorry for my voice. Hopefully by the time you're seeing this in January, I will be better. But I have been extremely sick for about 2 weeks now with pneumonia and bronchitis, and now all of it has moved into my head for a horrible head cold. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. You also just seen right there my first time ever using my Spellbinders Platinum 6. I'm super excited. This was a Christmas gift to myself. And I'm loving it. Of course, I knew I would. Everybody loves their Spellbinders, right? I had a We Are Memories Keeper Revolution, and I loved it. There really wasn't too much wrong with it, but it was not compatible with like the Glimmer or the Better Press. And I just know as I get more into card making, I will probably eventually fall into the rabbit hole of those two things here soon. Especially since Christmas, I asked for them, right? All right, so I just used that scalloped half-hole die to cut out the pink. You're going to see that I actually changed that up. You're going to see at pretty much the very end. Don't be worried. And then I just used a regular stitched rectangle die to give more... I always love it. Love the stitch dies. Just gives a little bit more to, the paper. All right, so we're going to start setting up our card. For the most part, I do like to try and set up my card before I start and just make sure that there's room and where I want to place things, just to try and see it, I guess. All right, so you are seeing me set that up. I also just needed to get a good placement of where that balloon is going to go. So what you're seeing me here do is set up the stamp, and now I've pulled out the balloon die. I'll put that where I got that in the description below. All of my affiliate links for Brass and Bliss will be also in the caption below. Sorry, guys. Medicine brain is just getting to me. But we are going to be masking this up. So I did just cut that in masking paper, and that is all. I'm going to be saving all of the pieces because I'm also going to be using this for the grass and the sky. So one good piece of masking tape. I do like the masking tape that I have, though mine is a bit stickier than I would like. So you'll see me right there kind of like use my hands to like unstick it a bit. You'll see me like stick it to my sweatshirt sometimes, that type of thing. So I really won't recommend this masking paper. Once I use all of this stuff, I am going to try and find a good brand of masking paper. But I mean, in the most part, it holds up to a lot of ink, which is very good. And it just holds up very well. It keeps a crisp line. You just don't want to be able, like, do not leave it overnight, as it does have a tendency of sticking to your paper and kind of ripping it up a little bit. But as you'll see here, I think it does honestly rip my paper a little bit here. Again, it's not the best, but it does get the job done. And then I'll be probably searching for new ones here soon. All right, so you just seen me. I pulled out a grass dye. Honestly, you can use any grass dye. This is just the one I have. And made my grass that my little hippo will be standing in holding her balloon. These hippo stamps are the absolute cutest, but I do want to warn you to go get those quickly if you are loving them, as I do believe that they're selling out, and unfortunately I didn't realize they were a retired product when I got them. So what is there, or what is left, is all that we have. So hopefully there's something left. All right, so moving on, just getting out my blending brushes. I'm just going to do a 2-color blend, nothing too big. I do believe I do a Tumble Glass and Broken China from my Distress inks. I do use Hammermill cardstock for all of my cards pretty much. I do slip in some Nina here and there, but for the most part, Hammermill has been honestly one of my favorite for Copic coloring and for ink blending here. And you are seeing that I'm not really going in circles so much. I'm not trying to get like the perfect blend because I kind of want it to look cloudy. I'm going to add clouds too, but I kind of wanted it to look a little bit splotchy. And honestly, by the time I'm done and adding in everything, it really just blends out very well. Distress Oxides just melt into the paper so well that, you don't have to put a lot of work into them. So, all right, so there is my sky. I am going to then, clean my desk. Gotta get all that blue off. We don't want that going in there. We're going to peel off that mask, and then we're going to get the upper portion of that mask. And I think here's where it rips my paper, right there. And I don't believe it's because I didn't pat this part off. It was one little tiny spot. As you can see there, me fussing with that. You're going to see me now, pat this one off. I think I, stick it to my sweatshirt, and I stick it to a few, my rag over there. I stick it to a few things before I get started here. We're going to line this one up. The grass is a little bit harder to line up, so it takes me just a second longer. There we go. I do believe that I use Twisted Citron. Yes, Twisted Citron and Rustic Wilderness, I believe. I can't remember, and I just didn't see me flip over that. And I think Rustic Wilderness. I believe Rustic Wilderness. I don't have mowed grass. That's just one green that I don't have. So blending those two, and as you can see, that little piece of paper is definitely getting edged up there. But hey, you know what? Honestly, you can't even tell. All right, so the latest love that I like doing right now is then using the splatter of the Distress Oxide to do splatters. I don't know why. I got this from Christy Gets Crafty, I think is her YouTube name. I love just using this as splatters for some reason. I usually do the light and the dark. I think I only did the dark at this point. I'm like, oh shoot, hold on, let me cover up my balloon there before my sky turns green. Also, I think this paintbrush, or the paintbrush that I was using, was a little bit weird and just not, I don't know what was going on. this day. Sorry, guys. Again, this was like in the height of me being pretty darn sick and my youngest having pneumonia also. So I was probably on the struggle bus a little bit. I was definitely on the struggle bus a little bit. All right, let's clean up our work surface. I am just working on a glass mat, and my glass mat is just from Hobby Lobby. If you are new here, you'll know that I try and use, or I try and be a pretty budget crafter. I don't have a huge budget to craft, unfortunately. So I will cut my corners and use coupons and everything else, which Hobby Lobby isn't. Okay, so what you just see me do there is put a little bit of blue in that balloon, because balloons are transparent, so you will see a little bit of blue through that balloon. But what we're going to do here is we're going to use our mask and, oh, no, actually, I'm sorry, I lied. First, we are going to put clouds down. So I am using a cloud stencil. Many companies, including Brass and Bliss, I'll usually carry a good cloud stencil. I am going to then use my Hero Arts Unicorn White pigment ink and dab that on my desk, because I do not want the blue to contaminate my white ink pad. And for the most part, distress oxides are reactive. Not for the most part, they are reactive. So that happens quite a bit with distress inks. So I just wanted to make sure that didn't happen. This was not supposed to be like a super, in your face type thing. I just wanted a little bit of clouds there. All right, so you are seeing me put that mask back over my sky, therefore, and what I'm trying to do is I want to stamp inside the balloon. So I'm going to be using the confetti stencil, along with my Brass and Bliss brushes. There we go. Again, like I said, words are hard. Brushes, you're going to see me pull them out here. Yay. I love these. They worked so well for these stencils. They pick up ink extremely well and put the ink extremely well back down. So they're perfect for these little itty bitty circles that I wanted to get in here. And I obviously wanted the circles to be different colors. So using these brushes was just perfect. You're going to see, and I can get right in there. My stencil wasn't quite sitting down all of the way, so, and because I'm using a brush, like, it was going underneath that stencil a smidgen, so that's why I was, like, trying to hold that stencil down. No part of the problem of the brushes, more of a user error of, not feeling all that well. All right, so what I'm kind of trying to do is make one of those, like, clear balloons. That's why I put the little blue in behind there, because you would be able to see the sky through the balloon. And then I am going to use the birthday stamp set. Here we go. I'm just trying to disperse those all the way through. Where they, obviously this isn't exactly how a balloon would look, but I'm trying to get that look. I was like, oh, whoops. I had gotten more purple than pink that I wanted on there. Didn't clean my little pouncer brush very well. All right, there we go. Now I'm pretty happy with those results. Now here we go. This is where I was going to put happy birthday all the way over the balloon, but I was like, you know what? No, I'm just going to do it like halfway through the balloon. So I'm going to use the little happy birthday stamp from the Hippo stamp set, and use my Misty, one of my most used tools, I think, as a card maker, of course, and just move that stamp all the way around, reminding you that I still have that mask on there. So, and then I'm just going to offset it every so often so it's not, lining up, like the happy isn't right under the happy, you know what I mean. Offset it a little bit. And there we go. Stamp that down, and I think I did 3 lines of it, and I thought that this was a cute idea to do a birthday balloon, especially if you don't have a birthday die, a balloon die, you don't need one. I mean, you could merely cut a circle out of some masking paper and do this. Now, to make this a little bit more believable, you're going to see that I add like a drop shadow. There we go. Yay, how cute, how adorable. All right, and then I'm going to get out my markers here and color our hippo. I do use just Ohulu markers for my alcohol markers, and I believe I ended up using CG050 and CG030, I believe. Just putting in our shadows where two lines meet here. I believe that this is... I should have put, I gotta remember. Oh, nope, I did use CG. Okay, so I probably used CG5, CG050, and CG030 is my colors here. We're just gonna put in our little shadows, and this guy comes out so cute. All right, so we're going to cut that with our coordinating die. So cute and cut so close, guys. These dies cut amazingly close and don't leave much of a white outline. We are going to take our little hippo girl, and I mean, I'm guessing she's a girl. She's a little hard. I don't know. Maybe. Our little hippo friend. Here we go. Stick the card back in our Misty, mainly because I thought that I was going to use the string, and then I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to be brave and use a micron, I think 0.01, I believe it was, and just draw it on there myself because I kind of wanted a loopy little, you know, string, and the straight string just wasn't going to cut it. I didn't think it was going to cut it. So I put my brave pants on, and I'm going to color that in myself. All right, here is where I am going to add in that drop shadow, as you can see, and this just makes it so that the balloon, you know, there would be a shadow. There would still be a shadow from that little balloon. Balloons create shadows all of the time. So it just really popped it up from that background. All right, here we go. We're going to make our loop-de-loop. I don't know why I get so nervous with writing on my cards, but man, I was a nervous wreck to do that. And I was like, whew, all right, it came out. I thought I was going to like the pen would skip, or I don't know, something along those lines. Who knows? All right, we're going to put our little hippo down, and we are going to put a little bit of a drop shadow or her shadow down in the grass. And here is where the card kind of just doesn't derail by no means. It just didn't look like how I wanted it to. I felt like the pink kind of got lost. I didn't like how my sky didn't like pop on the, you see how like that pink layer just gets lost into the pink layer of the pattern paper. I just really wasn't loving it. I didn't love it. So we're going to rip it all apart. I didn't think, honestly, that it would rip apart. I thought that the glue would be certainly on there for a minute. But here I go. And I'm like, okay, it did come apart a little bit. And I'm like, and I know this tortures just about everybody. This layer did rip a little bit. But honestly, like, I wasn't going to use it anyways. So, you know, not too bad though. Look at that. That wasn't too bad. And then here I go and I'm like, oh gosh, that is really ripping. And I'm like, so, but why? Why do I even have to rip that off? Let's just cut another piece of cardstock with that scalloped edge with the half holes. And we're just going to glue it right over top of the pink. We don't have to pull up everything. We don't have to create a disaster today. We're just going to go right over top of it, right? It might add a little bit of bulk to our card, but that's okay. We're adding bulk. We added a bunch of foam, right? So we're going to glue that part down that we had already pulled up there. And to make sure that this foam is still pretty sticky, I just put, then I realized I never even pulled off the pull tab of that one. We're going to put some glue back over that so we can make sure this all stays together. Stick it back down and voila. Now our scalloped edge definitely sticks out. I love it. It looks much better. Oh, the struggles of voiceover while you are sick. So sorry, guys. I've stopped this probably 8 times to, you know, sneeze or cough or do something. I have no idea what happened to my glue right then and there. Like, my glue never gets clogged, and, like, I'm actively using my glue and it got clogged. I don't know. Anyways, all right, let's put this on an A2 card top fold card base. There we go. That was just a lot of words. I don't know. I am loving the top fold of cards at this point. I was always just a side fold girly, but now I'm a top fold. Let me know in the comments below. Do you stick to one fold, or do you like to do different ones just pertaining to like what card? Let me know. I've been loving the top fold. All right, so if you know me, I love the inside of my cards to match, and I love my envelopes to match. We didn't quite get to an envelope today. Unfortunately, it just wasn't in the cards today, but I took that confetti stencil again and used it for the bottom of the card. I absolutely love how this turned out, actually, and I kind of got away from doing the inside of the cards when I was doing Christmas cards, as I was just pushing out a lot of Christmas cards. And now that I'm settling back down into my regular card making schedule, you know, I love doing the inside of cards. So we did that, and then we used the 3x4 Happy Birthday stamp set with coordinating dies and put a big happy birthday. I love sometimes just putting huge sentiments in the cards. I mean, we have already completely made this card, I should say, I guess, completed this card. And so sometimes doing huge sentiment inside the card is just fun. We don't always have to have the perfect sentiment for the inside of cards. I know that some love to do that, and there are days, but I just loved how this big happy birthday looked on the inside along with that confetti. I mean, honestly, the inside of this card could have been the outside. All right, guys, thank you so much. Definitely